because it's Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there! You made it! Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Elizabeth.
And the greatest driver.
Lucas.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Elizabeth.
owes me $5.
Hey.
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right, Jimmy. We do have a few safety rules. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, or if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or have any sound or video issues, reach up, grab the ready cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated and keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Remember to use the red cord above your head if you need any assistance. The studio is private property. If at any time during the tour you drop the phone or can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please, no smoking of any kind during the tour. Be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You'll want to have your cameras out for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you're on board. Alright, that's the nitty-gritty out of the way. We've left the theme park behind. We are now rolling down the Universal timeline. I want you all to look to your left. Look to your right. Good, about half of you passed that test. Congratulations. But as you look to your left and right, mostly to your right, you're going to see movie posters for just some of the thousands of movies that we've produced here at Universal Studios during our 108-year history. Some of them are Oscar winners like Out of Africa, Schindler's List, Beautiful Mind, but we don't just do the serious stuff around here. We also have cult classics and comedies like Blues Brothers, Breakfast Club, and Animal House. As we turn the corner up here though, I'm going to have you all continue looking to the right so that you can see Fire Station 51. Fire Station 51 is a real working fire station with real hard-working firefighters, and we're glad to have them here on the lot because every so often we do have a real emergency. This is Hollywood Ghost, so they may be the only real thing you see on today's tour. As we continue down the timeline, we're going to be heading into the front lot. The front lot is primarily sound stages, and if you don't know what a sound stage is, that's okay. I'm going to show you a ton of them, tell you all about them. You're going to be pros by the end of this tour. A sound stage is a large warehouse-type building that you build your set inside of, blocks out about 98%. But we do have a few prehistoric picture cards from the Flintstones. We have the Flying Ford Anglia from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and what would a display of picture cards be without at least one from the Fast and Furious franchise? Another huge franchise we love here at Universal Studios, of course, is Jurassic World. And if you've seen Jurassic World, or even a preview for that first movie, I'm sure you recognize the gyrosphere. But you may be thinking to yourself, hey, Elizabeth, there's something missing from that gyrosphere. The sphere itself, right? It didn't have any glass. That's because they found if there was glass in the gyrosphere while they were filming, it reflected everything. And I don't just mean the natural surroundings. I mean the cast, the crew, the lighting equipment, the camera equipment, the boom mic, everything. So they took the glass out. They did all of their... Speaking of the stars of Jurassic Park, it looks like a couple of them are popping out to say hello. Oh, you're so lucky. We even have a Spinosaurus. She's over to your left. She's smiling for your cameras, though. She loves the paparazzi. And if you look back up on your screen, you can see the Mobile Lab hanging off of the side of a cliff. This was not done with CGI. They really did hang that Mobile Lab off the side of a cliff. And we passed by that cliff at the beginning of the tour. If you didn't recognize it though, don't feel too bad. It was a parking garage. So what they did is they dressed up a parking garage with real and fake foliage, making it look like a cliff. That created a much safer, more controlled environment for this scene. Speaking of controlling the environment for a scene, you may have also noticed it was raining in that clip. Rain is a great way to raise the stakes in almost any situation. So if you want to make something more romantic, you add rain. More dramatic, you add rain. More suspenseful, you add rain. So if we want to make this tour even better, what do we have to do? Add rain, that's right. I'm glad some of you know your lines. That makes my life a lot easier. Don't worry, your checks are in the mail. We're going to make it rain right here, right now, using what we call a practical effect. Practical effect means it happens during production. It's very high-tech stuff, folks. We're using sprinklers. So the water shoots straight up into the air, and gravity does the rest. The lightning you're seeing is done with flash cubes. Those are on top of the buildings, out of frame from camera. But the thunder you're hearing would probably be added post-production. Only about 10% of what you hear in a movie or TV show is recorded while the action is happening. Mostly just the dialogue, what the characters are saying. Everything else you hear, like door slams, footsteps, background noise, or the rumble of a flash flood, that's all going to be added post-production by a sound engineer. And speaking of flash floods, look how crazy! Oh, car one, I think it's coming for us too. Ooh, don't say I didn't warn you that time. That is a very popular practice. Not just for hot days on the studio tour, but for productions as well. Lady Gaga used it for one of her music videos for the song Judas, and she stood right there in the middle of the flash flood, and the water crashed around her in all of her Gaga glory, and it was great. Check it out, Lady Gaga, Judas. She utilized this entire portion of the backlot for that music video. It's called Old Mexico. It's also where they filmed portions of Three Amigos, starring Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. More recently, though, it's been used for several sci-fi series like Westworld, Picard, and our very own revival of Quantum Leap, starring Raymond Lee. We are going to say adios to Old Mexico, though, and howdy to the Old West as we head into 6 Points. 6 Points is one of the oldest portions of the backlot, and it dates back to the silent film era. It's called 6 Points because originally there were 6 streets that radiated out from a central point, and on each one of those streets was everything you needed for a Western. So a bank, a jail, a saloon, a sheriff's office, and we could film several movies at the same time because you didn't have to worry about gunshots overlapping. They were silent films. In fact, Carl Laemmle, the founder of Universal Studios, would invite the general public, people like you, out to watch him make his movies, and they could cheer for the heroes and boo for the villains because they weren't recording any sound. Still a very relevant part of the backlot, though, and anyone who's seen Quentin Tarantino's 9th feature film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, has seen these sets on screen. So we had Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Timothy Olyphant, and Julia Butters out here while they were filming that movie. We are about halfway through the tour, though, everyone, so just a quick reminder to please stay seated during the entire tour. Again, the studio is private property, and if you drop your phone or can't wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention. I will be back to assist you, but please do remain seated on the tram. We may have started with silent movies when we opened our doors in 1915, but of course now almost everything records sound. We cannot build sound stages fast enough. We have even more sound stages to your left across Park Lake. These are some of our newest sound stages, and they are where we filmed The Voice. Also to your left, though, through the trees and shrubbery there, you can catch a glimpse of Park Lake. Park Lake is a body of water that we transformed into the Amazon River for Creature from the Black Lagoon, one of our classic monster movies. We love our monster movies here at Universal Studios. They were really our bread and butter during the 30s and 40s. They put us on the map. They kept us in business during the Great Depression. We could not talk enough about them. It's why we go so hard for Halloween Horror Nights, is because our roots are in those classic monster movies. We're now heading into Little Europe, which is where we filmed many of our classic monster movies, but it's also where we filmed much of The Good Place. Where are my Good Place fans? Yeah, this is for you. So this is their afterlife neighborhood. The yogurt shops, the clam chowder fountain, the exterior of Cheaty's apartment. None of those words make sense to the rest of you. It's okay. I have a clip. It's going to give you a little bit of context.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, I've never ever seen this.
You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
That yogurt shop is directly to our left. It has the blue doors, burgundy trim, the awnings, building on your screen, building to your left. If you are familiar with the show, also to the left, you'll recognize the railway station. That's where they call the train to the medium place and the bad place.
It's going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
If you've never seen The Good Place before, I highly recommend it. It's very bingeable. It took place here on Denver Street and in 6 Points. Since we're going to be here for a second, I do want to show you a couple of our Western sets in action.
Maybe you're just gonna stir things up here. You bet I am. Hey!
How dare you hit that man?
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was taller.
I want you to take a look at the brick wall up on your screen. We've seen several brick walls today, whether it was in the Metro sets, going through 6 Points, Little Europe, and we'll see even more as we go through the lot. We have very few real brick buildings here on the lot. What you see up on your screen, what you see out on the lot is mostly plywood, plaster, fiberglass that's been painted and molded to look like those more substantial building materials. And we do that so that you can do whatever you want to the sets, whether it's here in 6 Points, the Metro sets, or as we head into the lot. I don't want any spoilers, but we are going to see a few more buildings along the way. So again, as we look at these buildings, I want you to try to figure out which ones, if any, are really made of brick and stone. So we started with those Western movies, we transitioned into monster movies, and then in the 70s, we had a big string of disaster films. I don't know what it is about Universal Studios, but we just love keeping audiences on the edge of their seats. And speaking of being on the edge of your seats, please do remain seated. Hold on to your belongings. We are going to be right up against the water here. We don't want to drop anything in the drink. Don't worry, we caught the shark. He's hanging up over there. Officer George is out in the water doing one last sweep, making sure everything is safe. Oh no, it looks like there's another shark in the water. No, you don't understand. Officer George is still out there. Does anybody see him? There's his boat. There he is. Okay, everyone on the count of 3, we're going to call out to George, okay? 1, 2, 3, George! That was terrible. Try again. 1, 2, 3, George! Joe, I really don't think he heard us. I'm sure he's fine, right? It's only a flesh wound. We're gonna keep moving, nothing to see here. And we're gonna hang out behind these barrels of gasoline. Cool. Ooh, not so cool. I don't know what's happening with the dock back there. Not really part of the plan. We may have to call it in, but things are really heating up in here. That's why we ask you not to smoke on the tour, everyone. You never know what a spark is gonna do, but where's the shark? I haven't seen the shark for a while. That shark. It gets me every time. You know what? I said we need to give that shark a hand. Yay! No, not a real hand. Don't beat the shark. No, we're giving that shark a round of applause because it worked perfectly. Oh, I just wish the same could be said for the shark they used during the filming of Jaws. They built a mechanical shark for that movie here in California. They named it Bruce, after director Steven Spielberg's attorney, but they wanted to film on the East Coast on location. So they shipped Bruce across the country, they put Bruce in the water, and Bruce broke almost immediately. They were able to get some footage. They made the movie, but they had a lot of problems with that production. And here to tell us a little bit more about their trials and tribulations, here's the cast and crew of Jaws.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio mics. They were always saying, "The shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working."
We just waited around. Waited. The shark worked well enough. For a while there, I had to think of it. So I really
Filming locations here on the lot because, as you can see, it looks like a classic American suburb. This is another example where I really want you to look at the brick on some of these buildings because you will notice that it is peeling away from the wall in many cases, but definitely keep an eye out. And try to also figure out which ones are practical sets, meaning that if you open the door, walk in, it'd be like walking into your own home, and which ones are just shells, meaning that they only built what the camera would see from the outside. You open the door, you walk in, you'd walk into the backyard. You might even hit a tree. You'd have to call cut and then head to a soundstage to film those interior scenes. Now, even if you've never seen Colonial Street on a tour before, I can almost guarantee that everyone on this tram has seen Colonial Street at some point in their lives on screen, especially if you've ever watched an episode of Desperate Housewives. Colonial Street is Wisteria Lane. ABC filmed all 8 seasons of their hit show here on the Universal lot. Many of these homes have their own unique history, though. The purple one on your right was 1313 Mockingbird Lane for the Munsters. The tan house next to it was where Jimmy Stewart's character lived in the movie Harvey. There are many reasons why you may want to film on Colonial Street as opposed to in a real neighborhood. One of which is that that road is much narrower than the roads you see in the average American neighborhood. We did that so you can film both sides of the street in a single shot. I do want to show you what that looks like on screen, as well as a few more examples. I moved them over here, but because Fast X came out this summer, many of our picture cars are out doing promo work. They were at premieres, they were up in the park, because again, oftentimes the cars are just as famous, just as memorable as the stars themselves. Now over to our right, we do have the Bates Motel. It does look a little different right now because, of course, we are setting up for Halloween Horror Nights. I know it's only July, but we're already thinking about it. We're already getting ready. We're already getting excited. Speaking of being in the spooky mood, we are heading towards the house from Psycho. Now, when they filmed Psycho, the house only had 2 walls. It was not a practical set. It wasn't until we started giving tours that we finished the house, and I think somebody may have moved in. So definitely keep an eye out. You never know who or what you're going to see here on the lot. From one disaster to the next, we are now heading into the airplane crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. We're going to be stopping here for a moment. You can get plenty of pictures, plenty of video, and we do have about 15 minutes left of the tour. We are going to be returning to the theme park shortly, so just one last reminder, if you need any assistance at all, reach up, hold that red cord, stay seated, and I'll be back to help you out. To tell us more about this production, here's director Steven Spielberg and production designer Rick Carter.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down and talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep your eyes on me. Eyes on me. Now listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Okay. Get them closed. Robbie, get in.
Lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle? You're ready to find out. Welcome to the world of no.
sets were originally built up near Santa Clarita. That's where they filmed these portions of the movie, but we wanted to be able to share them with all of you, so we took them down, transported them here, rebuilt them on the back lot. Okay, everyone, I have talked so much about how we make movies. It's now time to put you all into the movies. So, here's the situation. One person on the tram is an undercover witness. Don't say if it's you. You're undercover. The rest of us have to keep that person safe from Owen Shaw. We're heading into Sullivan's Garage. If you recognize those names, you know we're entering the world of Fast and Furious. You do not need your 3D glasses quite yet, but it was a good impulse to have. You're going to need them soon. Keep them handy. I'll let you know when the time comes. But please do remain seated. Hold on to your belongings. Hold on to your cell phones. Hold on to your loved ones. I have a feeling this is going to be a very bumpy ride. To tell us more about what's going on, here's Roman.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hodge asked us to stash you for Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row, like I was saying. Good. So look, see over there? That's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. But that work of art back over there was made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels.